Okay, so I'm going to show you how to kind of jazz up that standard blog page. And you may find that in some of the newer templates, you're able to do this on the actual blog page itself. But you, especially on the older templates, you actually have to create a new page in order to do it. And if you want to add some cool functionality and just some unique content blocks to your blog page, then this is still definitely the way to go. So you'll see here, if I click on my default blog, this is where you're actually adding your posts, right? So we have sample posts in here, and if we went to, the main blog page, then we would see these posts just kind of laid out in a sort of boring way. So instead of doing that, we're gonna leave this alone, and this will still be the place that you'll come to add your blog post, but what we're gonna do instead is create a new page, which is what your audience will see when they get to your site. So I'm going to add a page, just a basic page. I'm going to call it blog as well. And then what we'll do is you can add anything to the top of it. Let's say you maybe want to name the page and say that it's a blog. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a summary block. So I'm going to type it in and find it. You can choose any one you want. I like the grid personally, so I'm going to add that one here. And then you'll see that you have the option of selecting one of your pages. And since we only have one option, which is your blog, we'll click on that. And you'll see that it automatically pulls in these posts that you've created. So now we can kind of change the layout and the display of the summary block. You can change the width of the images, make them square, make them more unique. You can change how many blog posts you have in a column, in each column rather. If you want to do that, you could do 2, etc. I'm probably just gonna go like this for now. Again, you can change the gutter width, which means a little space in between, and you can change the text size, etc. So then we'll go to display, and this lets you determine how many blog posts you want to pull through. And then this says show title or not, show thumbnail or not, show excerpt. I tend to get rid of the excerpt, totally up to you. Or you could get rid of, if you have like those thumbnail images for your blog posts where you have the title on the thumbnail image, you could get rid of the title itself if it's already there, etc. And then you can add a read more link. There's another tutorial video that shows you how to update that read more link to make it a little bit more like a button and just a little bit more stylized. So be sure to check that out if you're interested. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave it up there for now. I like to get rid of the date posted, but you can change this to categories so you can see which categories it has for each post, etc. I'm just going to get rid of all of that here. So let's say I've styled the summary block the way I want it to look, and I'm cool with that. So now I can do anything I want to this page. I'm going to go ahead and save it. But let's say, it's kind of a basic page, so you can add, a header image up here. You could add your let's see, you could add like your subscribe button to the bottom. You could add, I like to add maybe like an archives or something like that, so that people can or like a search bar so people can search for blogs. Let's say they can just search the blog here, or like I said, the archive, which you can kind of change up the style in the display. So maybe you want to make it like a drop down to make it nice and clean and simple. And maybe it's by category or something like that. So you can kind of play around with what your blog page looks like now and style it up and add different content blocks. And this way then people will just see this page and then they can click through and they'll still land on, this post page. But it won't be quite as boring as that standard blog page. There's a few other tutorials about how to add a sidebar and some other cool things about the blog. So be sure to check those out too.